She used my mother's inheritance to build a new life with another man, but she didn't know I was building her downfall. Noah Vo, calm, steady tone. They say betrayal feels like a knife in the back, but for me, it came as 6 words in an email. I've moved the inheritance. It's better this way. No greeting, no signature, just that and an attachment, a blurry photo of Ava on a balcony in Palm Springs, sundown behind her, glass of wine in hand, leaning against a man I didn't recognize. She was smiling, the kind of smile she hadn't worn around me in years. Cut to interior, Noah's home office. I closed the laptop, stood there, unmoving, the same room where I'd once helped her name her brand, where we picked tile samples for the kitchen, where we framed the letter from my mom. Cut to kitchen, dimly lit. I poured a glass of water, stared out at the backyard we'd built together, hydrangeas lining the stone path. She'd planted them. I laid the stone. I built the deck with my own hands. She chose the furniture. It was the perfect home, for a lie. Noah, Vo, that money, $612,000 from my mother's estate, wasn't just a number on a screen. It was my mother's life. 2 jobs, no vacations, just hospital nights and handwritten notes stuffed into my school lunch. When cancer finally took her, she left everything to me. 1 note, 4 words, build something that lasts. Cut to phone screen, 0 notifications, no missed calls, no apology, no, did you see my message? Just silence, like she'd already deleted me from her new life. Noah Vo, reflective. The signs were there. Yoga retreats that went from weekends to weeks. Passwords suddenly changed. Conversations that ended when I entered the room. And questions, subtle ones, about the inheritance. Which account? What bank? Could we streamline our finances? I had nodded. I'd said I'd think about it, but I already had. Cut to Noah sitting on edge of bed, dim light from hallway. That night, I slept in our king-sized bed, alone, and for the first time in years, I slept well. Noah Vo, with quiet steel, because Ava didn't know the truth. The inheritance had never been in the account she thought it was, and now that she'd made her move, I finally had everything I needed to make mine. Noah Vo, measured, observant. I didn't scream, didn't confront, didn't even ask her why, because I already knew. What I needed now was proof. Cut to Ava at the kitchen island, typing on her phone, smiling slightly. She said it was work, a supplier call, but the laugh was different. It wasn't the laugh she used with clients. It was softer, warmer, real. Just Patricia from the studio, she said. I nodded. Patricia left the company 9 months ago. I didn't correct her. I just watched Noah. Vo. Soon the signs came faster. Her retreats became longer. Her phone never left her side. Passwords changed. Again. She started locking the joint safe. I began logging everything. Times, behavior, changes in tone. Cut to shared iPad. Ava browsing banking apps. One night I saw her open my financial dashboard. Just a glimpse, before she turned the screen away like I hadn't seen. She forgot it syncs to my email. Failed login attempt. Trust access denied. It had happened twice before. Cut to Noah's office. Dim light, files spread across desk. That night I stayed up, reviewed statements, printed bank activity from the last 6 months, cross-checked login locations. Phoenix, Palm Springs, Scottsdale. We lived in Charleston. Noah VO. Cold, precise. I reached out to Benji, my mother's former accountant. He now worked with private forensic firms. We met at a diner. I brought printouts, screenshots, and one question. Can we track how far this goes? Benji didn't smile. He nodded. Oh yeah, we can track it, and we can stop it. Cut to Noah reviewing credit card statements. I found recurring charges. One to a boutique apartment complex in Scottsdale, in her name, with utilities, groceries, a yoga studio membership nearby. Another life, paid for from ours. Noah Vo, reflective. I thought back to the early days. Ava had been electric, sharp, driven, kind. We'd built her brand together. She said, We'll grow old side by side like pillars of the same building. But pillars don't lie. Pillars don't siphon $38,000 from shared accounts in untraceable increments of $2,000 to $4,000, not unless they're planning an exit. Cut to neighbor Frank at the mailbox. Frank, our neighbor, stopped me one afternoon. Hey, you were out of town last weekend, right? Yeah, conference in New York. Thought so. Some guy dropped Ava off here late Friday. Tesla, tall, beard. I assumed he was family. I smiled politely. Yeah, family, but inside. I added a name to the growing list of red flags. Unknown man. Gray Tesla. Noah V.O. Calm, foreboding. She was so sure of herself. So sure I was passive. Software distracted. But I'm an architect. I notice cracks others don't. And when a structure's compromised, you don't patch it. You redesign the entire foundation. Noah V.O. Strategic. Cold. Ava thought I'd react like a husband, but I responded like a builder. I wasn't angry. I was intentional. Cut to law firm. Interior, clean wood-paneled office. Her email stayed printed on my desk. I met with Miranda Shue, my mother's estate attorney. She'd been my backup plan since the moment Ava started asking, "Do we really need so many separate accounts?" I handed Miranda the folder. Screenshots, failed logins, withdrawal history, photos from the cloud folder Ava didn't know was still shared. Miranda flipped through each item in silence. Good instincts. The trust is intact. She never had access. Can she contest it? Not legally. And if she tries again, we'll have more than grounds for civil action. We'll have grounds for prosecution. Cut 2. Noah setting up surveillance alerts. Benji helped me install real-time monitoring. Any attempt to touch my trust pinged directly to Miranda and logged by the bank's security team with timestamps and device IDs. Noah Vo. Then came the bait. I left a breadcrumb, a spreadsheet on the shared drive titled Pending Transfer, May 3rd, fake account numbers, fake access codes, just enough to tempt her. 3 days later, we got a hit. Unauthorized access attempt, Scottsdale, Arizona. Same IP address, same device ID. She took the bait. Cut to Noah closing his laptop slowly. I sat back, breathed in, exhaled slow. Now I wasn't wondering if she meant to take everything. I had evidence she tried, and in Georgia, attempted financial fraud of marital assets tied to inheritance. It's not just unethical, it's illegal. Noah V.O. Quiet power. I reached out to Ethan Carver, top-tier divorce attorney. Miranda recommended him. His assistant booked a 2 p.m. appointment the next day. I walked in with 2 files, financial misconduct and theft evidence. The prenuptial clause Ava forgot existed. Cut to Ethan flipping through documents. She's made this very easy. I want it fast, quiet, clean. She gets one chance. And if she doesn't take it, then we bury her. Ethan nodded. We'll draft the petition for immediate action. No response necessary. Cut to Noah reading Ava's latest message. While papers were drafted, Ava texted, "Hey, did you see my email? We need to talk." I replied 3 hours later, "Yes, received." She responded instantly, "That's all you have to say?" I didn't answer. Noah Vo, stone cold. No outburst, no accusations, just documentation, just facts. The more she talked, the more rope she gave me. I wanted her to think I was blindsided, because when people feel ahead, they slip. Cut to interior, Ava's studio apartment, her pacing. Meanwhile, she was planning settlement terms, assuming I'd beg for a compromise, assuming I didn't know, but I did. I knew everything. Noah Vo, with precision. She'd tried to gut my legacy. Now I'd let her walk into her own courtroom trap, armed with a fake victory and a real defeat waiting on the record. Noah Vo, controlled, resolved. She wanted a war of words. I gave her a wall of evidence. Cut to exterior, courthouse, gray morning light. It wasn't a trial yet, just a preliminary hearing on financial misconduct. But Ava walked in like she owned the place. Designer coat, new heels, that same detached confidence she used to wear at brand launches. She smiled at me like nothing was wrong. You're really doing this. You already did. Cut to inside conference room. Thomas, Noah's attorney, spreads documents. Across the table, Ava's lawyer, a younger guy named Seth Myers, skimmed the folder we handed over. He started confident. Then he reached the second section. Account access logs, cloud screenshots, attempted transfers. He paused. These are recent. Time-stamped, geotagged. Verified. Ava shifted in her seat. Noah Vo. She wasn't used to being caught. She was used to being adored by clients, influencers, her reflection. But now she was a case number with a paper trail. Cut to Noah watching Ava quietly. Her voice wobbled for the first time when Thomas laid down the Scottsdale lease. That's not. It's in your name. Paid from joint funds. Verified by Benji Lin. Then came the neighbor testimony. Multiple sightings. Same man. Same Tesla. She went quiet. Cut to judge reviewing documents, nodding slowly. The judge didn't say much. Just read. Page after page of quiet betrayal. I'd built the case like I build my buildings. Structural integrity. No emotion. No gaps. Noah Vo with bite. We offered a settlement before things went public. She keeps the apartment. I keep the inheritance. She returns half of what she drained from joint accounts. She signs a non-disclosure agreement. And we never speak again. Cut to Ava blinking rapidly, voice cracking. This isn't fair. We built everything together. Thomas leaned forward. You tried to steal money from a protected trust. That's fraud. You're lucky this is just divorce. Her lawyer whispered something. She shook her head, then nodded. Noah Vo. She signed, hand trembling, eyes not meeting mine. I slid one more envelope across the table. What's this? The passwords to the apartment, the cloud drive, whatever you left behind. She looked up, finally, expecting what? Anger, sadness. There was none, just a man who finished the blueprint and left the site. Cut to Noah walking down courthouse steps into daylight. As I stepped outside, my phone buzzed. A text from Ava. You didn't have to humiliate me. I didn't reply, because I didn't. She did that herself. Noah Vo, with finality. It wasn't about revenge. It was about preservation of my peace, of my mother's legacy, of myself. And now the damage was contained, the chapter closed, but the story wasn't over yet, because healing, that came next. Noah Vo, quiet, reflective. Some goodbyes come with shouting, others with slammed doors. Ours, it came with a pen stroke and silence. Cut to interior courthouse consultation room. The agreement was signed, legally binding, emotionally final. I watched her stand, hesitating slightly, the envelope I gave her still in her hand. It was never about the money, I said quietly. That would have been easier. She didn't respond, didn't cry, didn't yell. She just looked smaller, like the performance had ended and there was no audience left. Noah Vo. That night I returned to the house, our house. I walked room to room like a stranger in my own life. The kitchen where we used to cook, the bedroom we barely slept in together anymore, the patio where we once dreamed about a wellness resort in the mountains. You'd design it, I'd run it, she once said. We never even broke ground. Cut to Noah placing framed wedding photo face down in drawer. I didn't burn anything, didn't erase her from memory. I just filed it away. Cut to phone buzzes, new message from Ava. We need to talk. I wasn't thinking straight, please. I stared at it, deleted it without reading further. Noah Vo. There was nothing left to talk about. The moment she used my mother's legacy as leverage, as currency for her escape. She didn't just leave me. She left everything I stood for. Cut to interior minimalist loft months later. I sold the house on Wyndham Lane. Too many rooms that echoed. I moved into a loft downtown. Smaller space. Fewer things. No ghosts. Cut to Noah opening letter. Check enclosed for $89,275. One day, an envelope arrived. No return address. Inside, a cashier's check for the exact amount she owed, and a note, the rest of what I took, not just the money, no name, none needed. Noah Vo, soft, hopeful. I deposited the check, not into my account, but into the scholarship foundation I'd started in my mother's name. One more student, one more chance to build something that lasts. Cut to Noah walking along riverfront at dusk. We had once sat on this same bench together, talking about legacy and healing. Now I sat alone, but lighter, free. Noah Vo, final lines of the act. Some betrayals break you, others, they reveal the parts of you that were never truly broken, just waiting to be rebuilt. Noah Vo, peaceful, centered, 6 months. That's how long it took to feel like myself again. Not the version Ava helped build, not the man she walked away from, but someone new, someone real. Cut to modern office, sun pouring in, architecture models on shelves. I move my firm downtown, closer to people, closer to life. No more long commutes or empty homes, just ideas, blueprints, structures that would outlast mistakes. Cut to scholarship ceremony, small auditorium. The Elaine Hartley Foundation had its first official award, a 17-year-old girl from South Georgia, bright, driven. Her essay was titled, Designing Spaces That Heal. She reminds me of you, Miranda whispered. Your mom would have loved this. I nodded. She would have loved her. Noah Vo, warm, reflective. My mother worked double shifts to keep a roof over our heads. She didn't ask for thanks. She asked me to build something that lasts. This question mark, this was the answer. Cut to, lobby of Noah's loft, Noah collecting mail. Inside one envelope, a folded card, a single line. I hope you found peace. No name. A familiar slant to the handwriting. I placed it in the drawer with the rest, letting it be what it was, not a door reopening, just one finally closing. Cut to Noah walking along the riverfront, same bench from earlier. Evening light stretched across the water. Cargo ships drifted past. The city buzzed behind me, but I heard only peace. My phone buzzed. Dinner still on for 7? Bringing the architect I mentioned, Jerry. I smiled. Just enough time to go home, change, and say yes to something new. Noah Vo, closing lines. Ava thought she stole my future, but she only forced me to build a better one. Not out of bitterness, not out of vengeance, but from blueprints of quiet strength and the kind of love that doesn't break when tested. Because sometimes the strongest response to betrayal isn't revenge, it's rebuilding.